Hello. Trying to get the Instagram going live as usual. It takes a moment. Let's see. And there we go. Pretty sure Instagram is going now. And that means we should be everywhere. We should be on the Crochet Foundry page. On the Instagram. We're definitely in Instagram. I can now see that people are joining. And we should also be in the Jessie at Home YouTube. So that is where we should be. Yay! Lots of people coming in over on Instagram. I can see everyone coming in on Instagram, but I can't see people come in on Facebook or YouTube. I just have to wait for you to say something. So guys, I know I have been absent a lot because of all of those trips that I have been going on. They are finally all done. And let me tell you, there was some awesome business happening on those trips that you guys are going to love. I'm going to wait for some details because it is just now, 12:01 Eastern time, and I want to give people time to get on here. Good morning. We have LND Cornelius. And look here, we have Gabby. Good morning, Gabby. So, yes. Oh, and hi from Scotland. Nice. Karen B Designs is on Instagram and says hello from Scotland. That's awesome. So yeah, I'm going to give it a few minutes before I make any of the fun announcements I have to make because we want to make sure people get in here. Oh, and LND Cornelius, who said good morning earlier on Instagram, is from Portland. There's a couple Portlands. I'm going to guess. Oh, look, she beat me to it. She just said Oregon. I was going to guess Oregon. That's the most common one when people don't actually put a state. Usually if they just say Portland and don't put a state, it's usually Oregon. So yeah, one thing you do want to make sure that you've all done. So when we're off of here, if you are not a member of the newsletter, if you're not receiving the newsletter, make sure you do that. Karen, hello, Karen. Hi again, Gabby. Karen is saying hi to Gabby. Hi, Gabby. Gabby did say hi earlier. All right. Yeah, after a month and a half and 4 trips, my voice is a little scratchy, but I am doing awesome. And there is so much exciting, awesome things to tell you. And now Gabby is saying hello to Karen and Karen is saying hello to Gabby. And I just love this place. Y'all are awesome. Okay. If there's anybody, oh, hi, Karen. You're part of In Tandem. Awesomeness. In Tandem, I think I have told you guys about them. They're kind of our sibling knit magazine. So that is awesome to see Karen here. And Brain Fry, total complete Brain Fry. There was something I was about to say. I don't know. We'll go back to make sure you've signed up for the newsletter. Because everything you need to know is always in the newsletter. So you do that by going to crochetfoundry.com. And then if you just scroll down, there's a little thing where you can sign up for the newsletter. And the really cool thing here is once you sign up for the newsletter, once you get your first one, you'll be able to, there's like, where at the very bottom where it says unsubscribe. Well, next to unsubscribe, it also says preferences. So if you click on that, you'll see all the various kinds of newsletters you can get from me. So it'll, like, if you signed up through Crochet Foundry should be the only one checked. I tried to set it up so that it's only checking the one that you signed up for. So that should be the only one checked. But then if you see that you also want to sign up for Jessie at Home while you're there, you can sign up for that or whatever. Or if you find that you're signed up for too many things, you can unclick things. So it's always nice to be able to control those. And the really important thing here is if you are on any of the lists that aren't on there. So if you're like a designer who is on who gets the designer calls and everything, you can unclick everything and you won't get any newsletters, which means you won't know when things are happening. But as long as you don't unsubscribe, you'll still get the designer calls. If you hit unsubscribe entirely, you're like a designer or you're one of the independent pattern designers or an affiliate or anything like that, if you hit unsubscribe entirely, you won't get any of those emails either. So make sure you don't do that because you will be sad. You can just uncheck all the boxes and you won't get any more of the newsletters, only the individual broadcasts that I send out for whatever affiliate thing or whatever you're signed up for. And Sarah says, hello to everybody. Yay. All right. So let's talk about some of this awesomeness. Like I said, you want to make sure you're signed up for the newsletter so that you always know what's going on. And it's fun to be in Crochet Foundry Makes. You definitely want to be in Crochet Foundry Makes, the Facebook group now. Gabby, Sarah, if there is not Gabby and Sarah are my mods. If there is not a pinned post, please make sure there is a pinned post for the spring crochet along. All right, because the spring crochet along, folks, well, for any crochet along we're going to have, they normally just last for 1 month. So it's for, it starts when the magazine comes out, which is the first Friday of every month. We took off April and May because I'm the new owner and I needed to get some things organized, but we'll start up again in June. So we have to say hi to, there we go. Say hi to Darcy. I thought I accidentally deleted her for a second. That would have been sad because we love Darcy. Hi, Darcy. So they start when the magazine comes out on the first Friday of every month and they run through the end of the month. This current one, we're just calling the spring crochet along because, like I said, we took 2 months off of the magazine since I'm the new owner, had to get things in order. So when you can just go into that pinned post for the crochet along, in this case, it's the spring 24 crochet along, and share what you're doing. You can share photos, you can talk about it, whatever, and in order to be eligible for the giveaways, which I will talk about in a moment, it does need to be a Crochet Foundry pattern. Now, you don't have to do a Crochet Foundry pattern if you're just playing along and having fun. But if you want to get a giveaway prize, we scroll through, we grab a comment. So make sure that in every comment you say the name of your pattern and which issue of Crochet Foundry it's in. Just like put that at the beginning of each comment. And that way we can make sure that if you win, we can make sure that you are actually making a Crochet Foundry pattern, and then you can win something. Because, like I said, I just got back from 4 different various trips, and the last one I was at was H&H Americas, which is like the big trade show for the soft arts, which is what we are. My watch, I talk with my hands. My watch thinks I'm walking around. It's like, yay, good job. Silly watch does not speak Italian, apparently. So did you get that? So at the events, and especially at H&H, I was talking to various yarn companies and various yarn adjacent companies, that companies that sell hooks, companies that sell, scissors, even sewing supplies, because sometimes we need like needle and sewing thread to do things, everything, all of that sort of stuff. I was talking to everybody who is crochet and crochet adjacent and yarn adjacent. And excuse me, like I said, barely a voice left after all of that. There were several of them that before I even said anything were like, can we do a giveaway? So, I'm like, oh yeah, 12 crochet alongs a year, one every month. And I'm like, oh no, that's only 12 giveaways because now I've got way more people who want to do giveaways. So we're going to have to figure this out, right? But if you want to win something, make sure that you're participating in the crochet alongs, and that way you can win something. You don't have to have a finished project. If you are doing, if you're working on something that takes you 3 or 4 months, don't stress that each crochet along is only a month long. It's basically each like section of, we just do a month and then a prize, a month and then a prize. Okay. So you can be working on the same pattern for 5 months. That's fine. Just pop in there, say the name of the pattern and the issue it's from if you want to be able to win something. And then, share your photos. Let us see how far along you've gotten since the last time. We love following along and seeing your progress and everything. If you have questions, ask questions, whatever you need, and definitely come to the Zoom meetings, because then you can really you can show off your work, and you get like live feedback right then and there of everybody going, yay, which is certainly, a nice little endorphin rush of like everybody saying you're awesome. And then you get a little more motivated to actually finish your crochet project. So yeah, participate, have fun. Don't worry about when the end dates are, because this is not like we're working on just one pattern. We're just having fun. It's an excuse to crochet together and have giveaways is really all that it is. It's an excuse to like have a good time and give you stuff. So make sure you're participating in those. Let's see. And then what else? Had to put your Foundry on hold because you have teacher gifts to finish. Oh, yes. Well, Darcy, as we progress, I do intend on getting some like little free patterns up on the blog. And we'll also do some patterns that are like sold independently, sold one-offs, that are still from Crochet Foundry. And I would like to do some little collections of patterns that are sold outside of the subscription, because the subscription, I'm keeping it, it's garments and wearables. We're not going to be adding anytime soon, at least, we're not going to be adding home decor or, I don't know. I can't think of what else right now. Blankets, all that. We're not going to be adding all of that in there. Remember, every single pattern that is in the magazine means I have to pay a designer, which is great. I love paying designers. I love paying them decently. I love paying them well. The thing is that paying designers is about 2/3 of the expenses of Crochet Foundry magazine. So that's why I can't just fill it full of designs and like be like, oh, just because it's an online magazine, you don't have to worry about how much space it takes. Well, I do have to think about how much money, if you want a lot more patterns, you just have to buy a lot more magazines so I can afford to pay more designers. That's just how it works. But also, I don't want to get it mushy. I like having that kind of garments and wearables. And then if we want to, every once in a while have a one-off issue that's not part of the subscription. So people who are paying for the subscription aren't like, but I didn't pay for that. Don't worry. We might have like a one-off issue that's, quick projects, that's great for like quick gifts or craft fairs or teacher gifts or whatever. And we might have a one-off that's home decor or whatever. So as we get those going, those would certainly count within the crochet alongs. So that's all good. And you know what? We'll also say that, why don't we also say that if you're using any of the independent patterns on Crochet Foundry, on the Crochet Foundry site, so you know how we also sell independent patterns from designers, those patterns that you can buy as individual patterns on Crochet Foundry, the majority of that money actually goes directly to the designer. And if you're making one of those, then that will count for the crochet along as well. Okay. Just make sure again that you say the name of the pattern and the designer, and just put, found on Crochet Foundry or something so that we know it's one of our independent patterns, because I'm still in the process of getting them all up there. There's several hundred of them right now. So I'm not going to remember them all. If you just say the name of the pattern and the designer, I'm not going to remember if it's one we sell or not, because I didn't have a big hand in it. I just they give me the stuff, I post it. So definitely There you go. See, Karen. So, is it only crochet patterns we sell as independent designers? No, it is not. Right now, I only have 2 knit patterns up. There are more that are going to be going up, but there still will only be a handful. So like Karen, definitely go ahead. Feel free to submit some of them. If anyone's wondering how to do that, when you go to Crochet Foundry, on the main menu, there's an about. And if you click on about, there's like a little drop down. And in the drop down, there's a thing where you can apply to be an affiliate with Crochet Foundry. In the drop down, there's a place where you can enter the design calls so that you get the design submissions that are sent out. And whenever we're looking for designs for new issues of the magazine. And there's also a link for if you want to sell your own patterns on Crochet Foundry. When you open that up, there's 2 links in there. It explains itself. The first link is to apply for the program, because basically it's an app on Crochet Foundry that I have that makes it so that you can be paid and so that you can get analytics and all of that sort of stuff. Because I certainly do not have the time. I would have to take like the majority of the money if I was going to like handle all the analytics and everything. And nobody wants that. I don't want to spend that time, and you don't want me taking all your money. So what I found an app that works with Shopify that keeps track of everything. So you sign up first to apply, and I go into the app and it sends you a little invitation, and you fill out all of that and you let it know how you would like to get paid. I'm pretty sure it's just PayPal and Stripe are the options. You fill all that out, and once I can see that you are able to be paid, then you can start. There's the second link in that page on Crochet Foundry has just a little like Google survey that you fill in with all of the bits and pieces about your pattern, and you put in your photos and your PDF and everything, and then I toss them all up there and you start getting paid. Currently, yes, Karen, actually, if you applied for the program and you have not gotten an invitation, you probably have one, because like an hour ago, maybe 2 hours ago, I went through and found everybody who had applied and sent all the invitations. And then before this, and then again after this, I will be, I've just been working on getting every single pattern that I can up there so that people have them. The patterns for the InDesign section do not have to be new, Gabby. You are a designer, which I know you are. It can be any of your patterns. My main things are, you need to make sure that the pattern, if I get, and I don't see this happening with you, Gabby, you've designed for us before. I know you know how to write a pattern. But if I get a lot of complaints about patterns, somebody's patterns being hard to read or whatever, then I will go in and I will take a look. And if somebody's just like not doing a good job of writing pattern, I'll tell them, you either need to have your patterns tech edited or something, because I'm not going to sell patterns that don't work, right? I mean, on one hand, they're not Crochet Foundry patterns. You are buying them from the designer, but I still don't want them up there if they're not going to work. We have not had that problem, okay? Because I don't know. We haven't. We've been lucky. We haven't had people who don't know what they're doing as pattern writers put in patterns. And most people nowadays are getting their patterns tech edited if they're serious about this. The only other caveat I have is that they do have to be priced at least $4.99. And if that means that you need to take 2 or 3 of your patterns and put them together into one PDF in order to hit that price, that is fine. But if they're priced anything less than that, then the way the fees work on my end, I end up losing money by selling them. So they have to be priced at $4.99 because of all of the fees that I incur. And honestly, we're all worth it, right? We're good designers. We work our little tookuses off. We work our booties off, and we're worth it. Let's see. Check the invite is there. Oh, there you go. Yes. So that's why, yeah. Well, like I said, Karen, I just sent out invites earlier today. So um, that's my goal today, is to get the independent designer program all taken care of so that we have tons of patterns out there. It might end up taking more than one day. So yes, so for the crochet along, if you're using one of the patterns that we sell on Crochet Foundry, that is totally cool. You either need to be using a pattern that is in a Crochet Foundry issue, that is, from Crochet Foundry, or one of the patterns that we sell on Crochet Foundry. So just either put the name of the pattern and the issue of Crochet Foundry it's in, or the name of the pattern and the name of designer, and put something about that it's an independent pattern on Crochet Foundry. So that is the crochet along. Like I said, our magazines are going to start coming out on the first Friday of every month, starting again in June. And I know I've told you, but I also told everybody at H&H whenever we were talking about Crochet Foundry and everything. I was telling them that the June issue is going to be a very special Pride issue, which I'm super excited about. Those of you who know me know that both of my kids are queer, as well as a decent number of my family. And of course, a lot of my friends, and honestly, it doesn't even matter that doesn't even matter. The point is, these are people who are often overlooked or looked at poorly. So let's do something about it. And it's June, which is Pride Month. So what we're doing for the Pride issue is every single pattern in the issue has been matched up with a flag, okay, with one of the Pride flags. And so the pattern is made in the colors of the Pride flag. Of course, you can make them in the colors of a different Pride flag, or you can make them in the colors that are your favorite team, or whatever you want. But within the issue, every pattern is made in the colors of a different Pride flag. And then with that pattern, I'll just have a little blurb of like a picture of the actual flag, like a little, hopefully I can get my daughter to like just paint little flags for me, because she's our illustrator. She's also very busy because she's a junior in high school. But then, we'll have a little picture of the flag so you can see what it looks like as the flag, how it's all laid out. And then just a short little, just like a friendly little description of like, this is the flag, this is what it means, because some people don't know the differences. There's a lot to learn, and sometimes it can be kind of overwhelming, and sometimes you don't know who to ask, right? So I'm like, this is a really fun way for you to get those get those questions answered while having some awesome crochet time. And I just thought that would be super fun and cool for everybody to to just learn a little bit, and also have awesome crochet patterns. And they are some pretty awesome crochet patterns. I'm super excited about this June issue. It's going to be so cool. And then, every issue moving forward, actually every issue I've done so far, but starting with the February one. So I did February and March, but also the rest of them, I do have at least one page in every issue where I have given advertising space to, I usually just do two half page ads, to something that works for whatever that month is. So February was Black History Month, and there were ads for, what did I have? National Bailout and the Makers of Color Collective. And then March was Women's History Month, and I had ads for the Malala Fund and Girls Who Code. So those little pages that are ads for whatever that month happens to be, I look them up. I figure out something that would have kind of related things that, just things I feel good about giving free ads to, and I give some free ads for that. Because, I think you all know by now, I have two rules. Rule number 1 is be kind. Rule number 2 is please don't make me make any other rules. So, I like spreading the love. So that's what that's all about. Let me see. Talked to so many yarn companies, guys, and they were so excited. I need to stop saying guys, folks, awesome, awesome yarnists. So many yarn companies that were so excited about being a part of Crochet Foundry. So that is awesome. Oh, and if you get the newsletter, then you would have just gotten a newsletter yesterday that has a blurb at the very beginning about the Craft Tours trip to England in October. It is a crochet themed tour, and we will be going to the knitting and stitching show in I believe it's in London. I know it's in the UK. I'm pretty sure it's in London. And I am super excited about that. I will be going. It is the special guest teacher is Tamara Kelly from Moogly. And so all of that information is in the newsletter for, there's like a link there to take you over there. And just when you buy your ticket, make sure you tell them that you were sent from Crochet Foundry. Is that one? I know we're stopping at some palaces. One of the palaces we're stopping at, is Alexander Palace, where the knitting and stitching show. Is that what you're saying, Karen? I don't know. I know we are stopping at, we're stopping at the place where Downton Abbey was filmed. I think it's like the exterior one, and Stonehenge, but there's also lots of like crochet themed stuff. I went on the one they did last year with Tamara, which was to Ireland. It was so much fun, guys. So much fun. So if you can make it happen, make it happen. The tickets are only on sale for like another month, and they do have a limited number of seats, obviously. So, because they want to get everybody into one bus without being like smushed. So make sure to grab those tickets. Some people got tax returns. I know not everybody can, but if you can, it's definitely worth the money. It is a chunk of money, and I totally get that. So if you can make it, if you can swing it, do it. It's going to be so much fun. And let's see. I'm also going to, I have so many things that I need to get going on the blog now that I'm back from all these trips. There's just going to be so much happening. So much happening. I'm very excited. Can you tell? Now that I'm back, we're back to having Wednesday sit and stitches. Okay. So basically any Wednesday when I am around, we have a sit and stitch. Usually the first Wednesday after an issue is released, the sit and stitch will happen immediately after this live, from 1 to 3 Eastern time. And then the other Wednesdays, it happens in the evening from 7 to 9 Eastern time. So this Wednesday, even though there wasn't an issue in May, it would have been released on Friday if there had been one. So today, the sit and stitch on the Zoom will be from 1 to 3 Eastern. So basically it is 12:28 Eastern right now. So in about half an hour, 32 minutes, we will start the sit and stitch on Zoom, and you can find the links to register for those. I put them up like about a month or so in advance in the Crochet Foundry Makes group. So there's a pinned post that just has a bunch of them listed. And then whatever the newsletter before each, the newsletter, I always let you know when the next one is. So the newsletter that went out yesterday also has the link to go to today's. I know there's so much more, guys. There's so much. I'm unbelievably excited. I have recently, I just hired a VA, a virtual assistant. She was also at H&H. So nothing really got done last week because everybody who has anything to do with Crochet Foundry basically was at H&H last week. So nothing got done. Well, a lot got done, but nothing you can see. It was all business, and it was awesome business. But nothing got done on the internet. It was all being done in person, which is the best. Lots of super awesome things happening there. I'm just checking Instagram to see if anybody's had any more comments. No more comments, just people joining, which is awesome. Okay, so Alexander Palace is where the knitting show is held. Okay, so Alexander Palace is where the knitting show is held. So if you go on that craft tour, that the information, the link to get the tickets was in the newsletter. If you go on that, then that is where the knitting and stitching show is. And yes, I'm super excited, Gabby. What was the most unique product that you came across at H&H? Oh my goodness, there were some really cool ones. There was something, there was something that Mary Beth Temple was talking about that was so funky and awesome, and now I can't think of what it was. Oh my goodness, but there was something that I thought was super cool at Clover. Clover had a yarn winder, like, to wind the cakes of yarn. But you know how there's it looks like there's the little tube that gets wound around, right? Well, you could actually, while it is winding, you can stop winding and you can just like turn and pull that off. So like if you get a knot, because this happened to me like right, I was winding yarn before I went to H&H, and I got a knot in the hank, which very rarely happens, but when it does, it's very annoying because the only way I could get it out was by taking the yarn off the yarn winder and like undoing the knot. But that meant I took the yarn off the yarn winder and then I had to start winding it all over again. But Clover had this yarn winder that you can take the core off. So you could take the core off, undo it, and then stick it back on again. Their thought was that you could do that if you wanted to weigh it, but I'm like, dude, I wanted to be able to do it. So if there's a tangle, I can undo the tangle and stick that sucker back on. Not have to start all over winding again. Trying to think, there was also, let's see, yarn is thing. Yes. Yarn can be a very annoying thing too sometimes, but I love it. I'm trying to think, there was some other there was so much awesomeness. It was more than twice the size it was last year, which was amazing. There was a lot of the fabric and quilting there now too, which is so cool, but even more yarn and more thread. Oh my goodness. Like my brain is so full. I know there were more like super, super cool things. There was a really, not a unique product, but a really like awesome booth. Circulo, which is out of Brazil, always has a really cool booth. It's always so fun. They had one of those hook thingies, the little grabby hook things that go neat, 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 and then you drop it down and you pick something up and you see if you want. They had that full of yarn. It was really fun. And then they had like a sandwich bag, like a Ziploc baggie full of quarters. That was a whole lot of fun. I ran into Lorene from Furls. Lorene and Pam were over there, and Lorene won some yarn. That was cool. Let's see. Sarah has pinned the spring cowl in the Crochet Foundry Makes group on Facebook. Yay! Thank you, Sarah and Gabby. Yes, untangling yarn, very annoying, which is why I was so excited about the thing. Normally I don't get tangles in my yarn when I'm going from a hank to a cake when I'm winding my yarn. But when you get one, especially when like you're more than halfway through or it's a really big hank of yarn and you're like, oh my gosh, I just spent like all this time going like this, my arm's tired, and now I have to take that sucker off to untie this random knot in the middle of my yarn. Like I have been the person who's kind of gone like, hold the knot on each side, gently pull it over, kind of wind it back onto the skein with like a very loose knot, and just like, okay, when I get there, I'll just hope I haven't pulled it and I'll untie it then, because I don't want to pull it all off. But with the Clover yarn winder, you can take the whole piece off the center, the cake with the center in it. You can take off, undo it, and then stick it back on again. That's why they had the bag of quarters, Sarah. You said you would have spent all your time at Circular Claw Machine, but that's why they had the bag of quarters, so that they could make sure that people weren't just like living at the claw machine. It was very fun though. Yeah, Knit Night at your LYS, and the owner and another person took your yarn from you because they couldn't stand seeing you untangle anymore. Sarah, didn't you say that you really enjoy untangling yarn? I believe that was you who said that. I know there are plenty of people who enjoy it. I don't mind it. Like if I'm in a rush, I mind it. Then it's annoying. But if I'm not in a rush, I really don't mind untangling yarn. There is something a little kind of zen to it. Yeah, there was something else super exciting I was going to tell you guys. Oh, I know. Because you're always asking me about Tony Lipsy. Because why not, right? I mean, Tony Lipsy, she's freaking epic and awesome and amazing and so nice. And oh my gosh, is she tall? Which I already knew because, you know, but still, every time I see her, I'm like, right, tall. Which I am not. So I told Tony that y'all are like massively in love with her. I told her that you're always asking, will Tony design for us? Can we use Tony's yarn and Crochet Foundry? And she was super flattered. And so we are going to talk to, you know how Tony has her own line of yarn with Hobie. So Hobie was not there, but I am going to get in touch with Hobie about if they would like to be a yarn partner so that we can use Tony's yarn and other Hobie yarn. And Tony is definitely amiable to at some point doing maybe an article or an interview about what it's like to create your own line of yarn, and then maybe having a special pattern that goes along with that. We're chatting about it. Obviously, there's no contracts or anything like that right now. But she is happy to talk about it. And so I got you guys. I'm doing my best to get Tony. And Tony is very appreciative of the love and would certainly be doing tons of stuff with us if only she had an unlimited amount of time. So I feel very good that she will probably be able to at least give us enough time to do an interview or an article about what it's like to create your own line of yarn, and maybe even do a little special crochet pattern for us, okay? Because you guys keep saying this exact thing, Tony is the best, and I 100% agree, and I definitely listen to you guys when you talk. So when you all tell me about some designer you are super excited about, I'm going to do my best to figure out something so that we can do something with them, okay? Yes, the paper towel roll. Are you talking about when you can slide the yarn cake onto a paper towel roll? I've actually thought about doing that when I'm making a yarn cake, about like just cutting a paper towel roll and putting it over the center of the yarn winder, and then winding it like that, so that if I ever have to take it off before it's undone, I can take it off and have that. And then when you're all done, you can pull the paper towel core out, but at least it means you can take it on and off the winder in the meantime. Yes, Happy Place Yarn, definitely a joy to work with. That's the name of Tony's yarn. And well, since she was telling people at H&H, then I guess it's safe to tell you that she's going to be coming up with another yarn of line with Hobie. So there'll be more Tony yarn. I'm not 100% sure if it's another yarn of line or more colors to Happy Place, but I'm pretty sure it's another yarn of line. It could just be more colors to Happy Place. There were so many things announced at H&H that like they do get fuzzy in my little brain. All right. Good job, Angelise. Is it Angelise? Is that how you say it? I love it. I would guess Angelise. You're going for the paper towel tube? I think that's a great plan. Yes, exactly, Sarah. Ooh. The post is too small for the tube and it doesn't spin the tube. Yeah, that would make sense too. See, but then that just means that the Clover yarn winder thing is pretty smart, right? I really wish I could remember what it was that Mary Beth got. I got this. Hold on. Yarn Inspirations will be working with Crochet Foundry again. And one of the things I'm going to start adding into each issue, what I want to do is like at the end of the issue, put in like a yarn sub page. So, each pattern has the yarn that it's made with for the sample. But then at the end of the issue, I want to put in a yarn sub page because sometimes there's yarns that are like really easy to get in the States or really easy to get in Europe, but not easy to get, you can get it in, sometimes it's in the States, sometimes it's in all of North America, sometimes it's just in Canada, sometimes it's just in Europe. And, then there's Australia, which can usually get what Europe can get, but not all. And it just gets like whoosh, right? And then on top of that, some of the yarns that we use can be a higher price point, and I'm aware that not everybody can afford that. So, what I want to do is at the end of each issue, put a page of yarn subs where it's like, here's the pattern, and then here's a couple yarn sub ideas, some yarns that might be easier to attain for people in different areas of the world. And then also, if it's a higher price point, some yarn that's at a lower price point, but still is a decent yarn. Sarah says she tried the toilet paper tubes before she saw the Facebook hack about using toilet paper holders to hold yarn and spin your yarn as you work. And total fail, never spun. So I got this from Susan Bates, Yarn Inspirations. They have some really cool stuff coming out that I can't tell you about, but it's really cool. It's handles and hook ends. So I haven't even really played with it yet because I've just been like having so much fun. But I love that there's 2 handles here. And there's actually 2 ends on each handle. So you can like put a stopper or whatever on an end that has a cutter on it. You see this stopper has a little cutter on it. So I can put that on here. Put it in, give it a turn. And then I have my yarn cutter on this end. And then put the ta-da here. I'll do the other one where you can see it because I realized I just did that below the screen. So it's got these little things on it, right? And these little things, I should have like made up a affiliate link. I don't even know if I am an affiliate with Yarn Inspirations. I need to check that out because they're not on share sale. All right. So then you see how it has the 2 little things and the 2 little things. You stick it in and you give it a little twist. And that's a yarn cutter, right? And then we'll grab a head on the other side and ta-da. Or, and I just twisted it back the other way and pulled it off. If you're using 2 size hooks for one pattern, you can have a double-ended hook. And I suppose if you they do sell these actually now that I'm thinking about it, because I did see them packaged. They also sell them without the case. And I'm almost positive I saw the heads only. So you could buy a second set of heads if you do. Well, you could buy a second set of heads if you do Tunisian in the round, but you've only got that much space to do Tunisian in the round, so I wouldn't do it. I thought I had a thought, but I really didn't because I'm like, wait a minute. You need it needs to be all the same. No. That would not work. That would be very, very, that would be like, it wouldn't work at all, period, because it has to be able to slide all the way across it. You see, sometimes my brain just does not quite process things fast enough. Ignore everything I said about Tunisian in the round. Look, Sarah is so sweet. She's trying to make me feel better. She's like, well, if the handles were thinner, it would work. Because Sarah is just like a sweetheart. Oh, I don't mind yes, I like this very much. And I like the Susan Bates heads. I like that style of head. I know some people like the boy style better. I like the Susan Bates style. I don't mind when I say something silly, Sarah, because I know I just kind of go. And sometimes something silly comes out and then I realize it. And And I get a good laugh, hopefully, along with everybody else. Um, what else was, everything was awesome. What else was awesome? It was all awesome. There's a new kind of yarn that apparently has been, oh, Jonah. I ran into Jonah. Um, so we all know Jonah Larson, right? The young man who crochets. Uh, it turns out, well, he's a year younger than my kids, but he skipped a grade, so he's also a junior. And one of the schools he's looking at is the same school that my daughter's going to be going to, Savannah College of Art and Design. And she's going for their 5-week summer program that you can go to between your junior and senior year. She's going in for illustration and sequential art, which is like, sequential art is like comic books or storyboards for movies or whatever. She wants to do that, or possibly like character design for animation and stuff. And she's also the illustrator for Crochet Foundry, and they're going to see more illustrations in Crochet Foundry just for like, just fun things. And anyway, so I was chatting with Jonah and his mom and Jennifer. She has a name too. That's not Jonah's mom. I was talking with Jonah and Jennifer, and totally like, Jennifer's a blast. I want to be her new best friend. She's so cool. And anyway, yeah, we were. Yeah, you saw so many pictures of people with Jonah. He is awesome. He's such he's a good kid, and he's very smart. Obviously, he skipped a grade. But I had asked him if he knew what he was, because I think years and years ago when he first kind of hit the scene, he was saying he wanted to be a surgeon. And he said that now what he really wants to do is he wants to do this. He wants to go into fashion design and crochet, so fiber fashion, crochet fashion. And one of the schools he's looking at is one of the schools he's looking at is Savannah College of Art and Design. I was like, oh my goodness, because they have an awesome fashion program. And I told him that my daughter was going to be there for the summer program. And like, I gave his mom my info, and I'm like, listen, I was like, if you want to talk about how broke we're both going to be, or if Jonah wants to talk to Kyla just about the school, since she was there for a week last summer, she's going to be there for 5 weeks this summer. If he wants to talk to her and actually like learn about like from somebody his own age, as opposed to like the stuff you get fed by the staff or the parents' point of view, I'm like, totally go for it. So I was just, it was nice to, and now Kyla's excited because now there's somebody that like she kind of knows, but not really, that's going to be going there. She's like, yay, I'll talk to Jonah. Somebody who knows what it's like to have to go to a trade show with their mom, because she went with one of these with me. But yeah, he's a wonderful, wonderful guy, and he's a wonderful person, and so is his mom. So that was super fun. And we do actually, one of our independent patterns on Crochet Foundry, it's actually one that's owned by Crochet Foundry that was bought before I owned the magazine, is a Jonah pattern. So there is a pattern, a blanket pattern of his that you can purchase on Crochet Foundry. So that's cool. I may have pulled it down. I need to make sure I put it back up if I did. The whole reason why when I saw them, I went up to talk to them was because I just wanted to be 100% sure that I did actually own the pattern. I didn't want to, because, sometimes things get like kind of lost in translation. And there were some patterns that I owned and some patterns that I didn't. And so I was like, you know what, this, especially when you're talking about somebody who's a minor, I was like, I'm just going to make sure that I get the 100%. Yes, I own this. Okay. From his side, because I couldn't find the contract anywhere. So I talked to him and his mom, and they said, yes, Crochet Foundry owns it, and that's cool. So, I'll double check and make sure that it is actually available to be bought now that I know for certain that it is totally kosher. Yes, Furls was selling a kit for his blanket, but I also can sell the blanket without the kit. I can sell the pattern. So, yeah. What else? I probably should actually, now that I'm looking at it, it is 12:49, guys. I should probably run away so that, because in 11 minutes, our sit and stitch starts on the Zoom. Like I said, that's only once a month, when it'll be right after this. I am going to try to start sending out like polls and surveys every once in a while. just to do things like what's good timing for the sit and stitches, and just anything. If there's things that you can think of that like you would like to see, like I had so many people talking about how much they would love to see something from Tony and everything, so I talked to Tony. um Anything like that, let me know. If it's something that I think might require a poll, like, hey, the times for the crochet Foundry sit and stitch maybe aren't great, then I'll send out a poll so we can talk to everybody. But always, always, always be open with me. um I mean, one, I like to have fun. I like other people to have fun. I like to have a nice, welcoming, happy space together. And let's be honest, okay, as much as I really enjoy the fun and the camaraderie of it, I'm not going to make a penny if I don't have customers, which means I'm also highly motivated to make you happy financially as well as emotionally. So tell me what you need to be happy. And I'm always going to do my best. All right. I am not a miracle worker, and I am one human being with a limited number of other human beings helping me because I pay them. Um, but I will do my best always. Okay. So I'm going to get going so that I can have a quick little break before our live sit and stitch. And hopefully I will see some of you there. It has been nice chatting, and I will definitely see you here again next week. And hopefully I'll see a bunch of you in like 10 minutes. All right. Thanks, guys.